Sustainability? It's too late. I'm a designer, but I can't draw. I can't make beautiful objects. Now, that's okay. It's important to make beautiful objects. I have a book about that. But I can't do it. What's important is I know I can't do it. But I can make things that are easier to understand and easier to use. So when I'm helping design and build something, I have to make sure that all the things I'm bad at, I bring in other people who are good at, and we work together. I don't finish it and then tell them to make it beautiful. We start from the very beginning, thinking about how we can design it so it works well and it's attractive and it's easy to manufacture and it's easy to repair and easy to maintain. All of those have to be thought of at the same time, and each of those requires different people, so we have to work as a team. And if we make it easy to repair so things last longer, companies say, oh, but I make my money by selling products. And I say, yes, and I don't want you to go out of business. That's important. So what I will have to do is I'll have to teach you to sell services, not products, so that you guarantee this thing will work all the time. But they're getting money and paid for that, and it makes people happy because they get good service. So we have to change that. And I don't want to give it to designers, because designers do the design. The design doesn't matter. It does matter a lot, actually. But the point is, if you don't actually build it and create it and use it in the world, it doesn't matter. Lots of people try to do designs, and they win prizes for them, but do they ever build them and try them out? No. If you want to know about people, where do you go? If you go to the social sciences, well, there are many of them. So do you go to the psychology department or the sociology department or the anthropology department? I will tell you no. These people do not understand people. I know, because I have a PhD in psychology. And what was I an expert in? How the ear works. That's important to know, but it's not about people. If you want to understand people, you know where you go? Go to literature. Go to the people who write novels, because they have to talk about people that are really real. So when you read a book, you say, oh, I know that person. I really hate that person. Or I really like that kind of a person. The people who write novels, they have to walk around the world watching, observing, learning how real people behave. So I think I would like to change education. So instead of learning to be a graphic designer or an interaction designer or an industrial designer, I want to understand how the world works. We have to understand culture and ethics and history, everything. So that's one change. What about economics? The economists use mathematics, and it's very impressive, except they're always wrong. The economists, the joke goes, they have predicted the last 15 of the 5 economic depressions. They predicted 15 of them, and not including the 5, because they don't understand people. And so their mathematics is very logical and very sensible, and that's not people. We don't work by logic. Logic was invented by mathematicians and philosophers. It's not how people behave. So we have to understand real people. And in economics, we do these funny measures. We measure the global GPD, productivity measure. And what does that mean? One number that summarizes a country. And the number is bizarre because it means how much money the country spends. So if I make something in my manufacturing plants and I pollute the water, well, that's good. I spent a lot of money. And now the government has to spend more money to clean up the pollution. That's good. We spent more money. So the pollution counts twice. No. Besides, to have one number doesn't work. You need to have many more numbers to understand the world. Sustainability? It's too late. Sustainability is too late. We've already reached the point that is unsustainable. And sustainability means to stay where you are. Let's sustain the current state. The current state is horrible. We have to recover and regenerate, and we have to learn to adapt. So, human-centered design is wrong. Human-centered design we call HCD, human-centered design. So humanity-centered design is simply human-centered design, but with the things that are left out put back in. So I call it HCD+. So the principles of human-centered design, and since I always remember them in the wrong order, even though I invented them, I remember them wrong, are, first of all, when you're asked to solve a problem, don't. My rule is that when I'm asked to solve a problem, I say, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to find out what the real problem is. What is the core underlying cause of the problem you face? Because almost always when people ask me to solve a problem, they talk about the surface. They talk about the symptoms that they see. But to solve the problem, you have to solve the underlying causes. And those are hard to solve. But if you solve the underlying cause, the real problem, the problem you see, goes away. So solve the underlying problem. That principle is the same in human-centered design and humanity-centered design. The second one is you have to think about a system. Now, in human-centered design, like here's my phone, so I have to think about the design of the phone and how people will use it. One thing people don't realize is they love to have this very narrow bezel. It somehow looks prettier, but it means I can't answer the phone because every time I pick it up, my finger hits the screen and it goes off someplace else. I can't figure out where the phone went to. And it's a system. You have to think about the whole system. You have to think about the cell system and the signal that's coming in and where it's coming from. And all of that, but that's not enough. Today, what we have to do is think about the ecological damage we do in mining to get the wonderful materials to make these new phones. And we have to think about the damage we do in manufacturing and in smelting. And the damage we do because in business schools we teach you how to make things that don't work for very long because you want to sell more products. So the phone has to be replaced every 2 or 3 years. And we want it to be very thin and light and beautiful. So we have to glue it together and make it difficult to open up and repair. That's wonderful for business profits and it's horrible for the planet. So we have junk, electronic junk, polluting the world. Plastics, electronic stuff, textile. One of the worst offenders in the world is textile, clothing. My clothing is discarded and thrown away without ever having been worn. And it's difficult to reuse clothing because it has poisonous dyes, and it's difficult to take apart, and it's difficult to reuse everything because we combine things together, peel and throw it into the jungle. I don't want to throw it on the city street. In the jungle, and it will deteriorate and become fertilizer for new bananas. And all fruits, in fact, are designed that way. Fruits are designed to be attractive to animals who eat the fruits and then travel a lot and then expel the seed, and that's how the plant moves. But we don't do that with our products. We make them for one-time use only. And it's very convenient for us. Plastics are wonderful. They're very convenient for our lives, but they are destroying the world. So we have to change that. So that's the system we must look at, is a system of all living things, not just people, not just our culture, but all cultures, but also animals, insects, all the things under the ground, because they sustain human life. And we have to look at the ecology and the whole way that nature is creating, and because that's important for human life. You know, the world is not in danger. The world will stay on. People are in danger. So humanity-centered design says, look at this big system. And that's difficult, by the way, really difficult. But you should need at least to think about the impact.